Hey, welcome to another episode of Geek Money Life. And today is a pretty big day for Apple and Apple fans alike because they just had their annual event announcing a new iPhone and other new products and services. And if you actually watch this event and kind of think about what's going on around it, you might be asking yourself, what inflation? So let's go ahead and see what's going on. So they did release a brand new iPhone. It's the iPhone 14 and Pro models. But we also have AirPods Pro and also a Watch Ultra. And if you wanted to get a new iPhone, you could get the base model starting at $799, but there's also an iPhone 14 Plus model at $899. And then if you wanted to go to the Pro models, it starts at $999, and then we have the Pro Max at $1099. And these prices are the same as they were the prior years, so Apple was able to keep it at around the same price, even though obviously the cost of everything has gone up around the world. And so that's a good thing for people who actually love Apple products, and it's definitely a good thing for Apple because Apple is definitely not hurting for money. They are doing an amazing job. And at the time of this video, their current market cap is $2.51 trillion, which is absolutely insane if you think about it. And the way that they run their business, this is just where you want to be. You know, their cash flow is great. They have very low debt or no debt. I don't think they have any real large debts. They have tons and tons of cash, and people are buying their products year over year over year, regardless if there is a recession, there's high inflation, high interest rates. People love the Apple brand, and it shows. And so Apple would definitely not be this successful if people were not buying their products and services. Which leads me to today's video, because even though there's definitely not good news going on around the world, and it's really hard for a lot of people to actually survive, they're struggling, there are certain things that they're definitely going to spend their money on. Now, in terms of overall smartphone shipments, it's definitely declining. You know, it's declining by almost double, 6.5% decline in smartphone shipments in 2022. However, they're still buying Apple iPhones, you know. So overall smartphone prices has increased by about 6%, but people are buying Apple products like crazy. So in this case, Apple sold an estimated 106 million iPhones through the first half of this year, an 8% increase from the same time last year. That is absolutely insane. And then it kind of leads me to my overall thoughts on this, okay? Because Apple is showing something that pretty much occurs through any economy, is that regardless of how bad things are, people will find a way to pay for the things that they really want. And especially if you're in a first world country like United States, where it's really easy for you to get into debt, you know, or borrow money to buy the things that you want and need. And Apple and many other companies are definitely capitalizing on that, such as this service that they've announced here earlier this year with Apple Buy Now, Pay Later. And so that leads me to my overall thoughts on this. And so I definitely have no problems with people buying whatever they want and need. Like I have a lot of equipment here. The camera that I'm shooting this with is like $3,000. And so I'm definitely not, being negative or judging anybody who buys this stuff. But at least for me, whenever you are trying to approach a life that is debt-free or trying to improve your overall financial health and state of your life, this is where you really need to look at where you're spending your money and seeing where your priorities are, okay? Because at least for me, having a smartphone is not my highest priority. Most of the phones I buy, they're budget phones. They're normally like, $200, $300. This is like a $300 phone, and I own it, But for a lot of people, the people who are buying these iPhones, they're normally not going to be the richest people in the world, okay? These are like everyday people buying these iPhones and other products and services because they're actually doing it through debt. So a lot of people buy these iPhones or lease these iPhones or other phones, it doesn't matter if it's Samsung Galaxy, through financing or debt through their carriers or providers, or they're putting it on their credit cards. But most people are purchasing it through their carriers. And so that way they don't see this overall total cost that they're paying. And they're obviously going to be paying more for this over the long term if they are financing it, which the majority of people are. And so that is like the biggest thing that I think a lot of people might not see because we want it right now and right then. But if you actually look at what you're doing, if you are buying this through debt, then you're actually putting yourself in a worse position, and regardless of whether or not this is going to be really helpful for you in your life, this is something that you really want, you feel like you need. And so in that case, I could definitely understand it. But the impact on this, the long-term impact, it's really great, especially if you are already in a situation where you have a lot of debt. It's really hard for you to struggle and pay for these things. And so that's kind of why whenever I see these type of things, people are normally going to not use logic in these cases. They're normally going to buy based upon emotion. That's how we typically do things as human. We act upon emotion. But if you are in a situation where financially you are not doing well, you're struggling, you're trying to make ends meet, and you're trying to figure out how to make things better for your life and other people that you care about, specifically if you have a family, then you might need to really look at where you're putting your priorities in terms of your money, and that maybe this Apple iPhone or whatever new hot product is out now might not be worth spending the $800,000 and all the other things that you'll pay for to have this, and then use it for paying off your debt, putting in your money in an emergency fund, putting that money, investing in the things that will actually improve your overall family's life. And then later, when you can truly afford it, then go ahead, buy these brand new Apple iPhones or whatever else that it is that you actually want, because at that point, you've actually planned for it. You have the money, you can afford it. So if you actually had any thoughts on this, be sure to leave in the comments area below. And if you did want to see more of my money or debt-free videos, I do have playlists for that. I'll leave in the description area below. So as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. Set up your business easily and legally with incredibly affordable rates at Incfile. Join more than 500,000 businesses and launch your business today. For more information, check out the affiliate link in the description area below.